Welcome to the seventh episode of DSC's podcast series. And today, we will be talking about faith.
Yung ex-girlfriend ko, she was addicted to sex, she was addicted to cigarettes, to bisyo, to drugs, yan, ganyan, before.
I mean, I questioned him a lot before, but that was the most intense test of faith. And sabi ko, so ano na, sabi ko, ano na God? Parang, okay, praise kita. Sabi ko, good ka. I believe in you and I'm serving you and I'm trying to be like you to other people.
But the fact that you have to do it for your whole life, everyday things, when you think about it in this way, you can feel that, oh, it's like hard things. So what's the benefit? Why not like other religion? Just let's pray anytime.
As the mathematician Pascal said, what do you have to lose in believing? If you believe and it's true, you win everything. If it's not, you lose nothing.
Complete trust or confidence in someone or something. That's one of the ways how our topic for today is defined. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the seventh episode of DSC's podcast series. And today, we will be talking about faith. And we have four guests today who will be sharing their insights and experiences about it. So I'd like to call on our first guest. She is a fourth-year old curriculum student, director for public relations in Achievers Council for Excellence. I'd like to call on Mitzi Katungal.
Hi, everyone!
Hi, Mitzi. Our second guest, he's also a fourth-year-old curriculum student. He's the Deputy Director General for Achievers Council for Excellence. I'd like to call on, or please welcome, Jerico Yanson.
Hello guys, kamusta
Hi,
kayo?
Hi, Jack. We also have another fourth-year-old curriculum student, and she loves cooking and reading the Holy Quran. Please welcome Warda Yousuf.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Warda. And last but not the least, a third-year-old curriculum student, and he's actually our first runner-up during the Mr. and Miss then 2019, and he's currently an assistant assistant for the admissions committee for Achievers Council for Excellence. Like to call on Ramin Bahmaninejad.
Hey everyone. Hey.
Hey man. So, okay guys, let's get the ball rolling. So there you have it, guys. They are our four guests today, and with that, we'll start off with our very first question. So, guys, so let's have this, place on the table now. What is your religion? So we'd like to know first what is your religion so that again we would know how we would be able to uh, go through with our discussion for today. So let's start off with Mitzi.
So ayun, I'm a Roman Catholic. I was baptized po in the Catholic faith. So ayun.
I see. How about you, Jack?
Actually, Catholic ako pinanganak and I was baptized as a Catholic, but alam mo yun, may family kasi hindi kami very religious eh. So ako parang nung tumanda ako, parang nag-iba-iba, parang ako nag-explore ako ng sarili ko. So nag-end up ako believing and doing the ways and beliefs of in accordance with the practices of the born again. So yun.
I see. Thank you. How about you, Ramin?
I'm a Roman Catholic. I was baptized in the Catholic Church. However, like I grew up in Iran, so I'm also familiar with Islamic traditions of the Shia belief as well.
I see. Thank you. How about you, Warda?
For me, I'm a Muslim, and then I grew up also with a family Muslim. For my country, East Africa, Eritrea, it's half Muslim, half Christian. But I grew up and I was born in Saudi Arabia, in a Muslim country.
Okay, thank you. So it's really nice that with the guests that we actually have for today, we sort of have, coming from different religions so that we will actually really be able to understand how it is with with their religion, how they are expressing their faith, how what would be the practices they actually have. So this is really good. So with your respective religions, any particular that you can say that at this point, at the top of your head, something that is unique, a practice or probably a way of life that is being done because this is being set by your religion. Let's go ahead and ask them and Mitzi about it.
So, growing up, my parents really, parang they exposed me na to the acts of faith in the Catholic Church, ganyan. They brought me up praying the rosary, reading the Bible, ganyan, and attending Mass on Sundays, ganyan. And then, I also have a tito who's a priest. So, parang ever since I was little, I was always um, I always knew yung different things that we would do, ganyan. And just like other religions, I also feel like those acts of faith show how unique our religion is. But at the end of the day, syempre, it's not always about what you do. It's about the relationship that you have with God, ganyan. So, yun.
Thank you very much, Mitzi. So we'll definitely be talking about later on those things that you mentioned, that how it actually affects your everyday life. Okay, but would like to ask naman Ramin about it.
Growing up and with a Catholic mother, like she introduced me to reading the Bible, praying every night, and well, taught me that doing a good deed should not come from um, the fear of punishment, but for the love of God itself. My tita is also a sister, a nun in the Catholic Church. So sometimes on Sundays I go visit her and I attend mass with her, and after mass I attend the morning prayer with their convent.
Wow, so Mitzi has an uncle who's a priest, tapos Rami naman has an auntie who is actually a nun. Wow, nice, nice. How about you, Warda? So they have mentioned about how they actually do their prayers, and they actually have relatives as well who's part of the Roman Catholic organization, if I could say. How about you, Warda? Anything about being a Muslim that you can say, um, that would give us, that would say it's unique from what they have already shared about the Roman Catholics?
Speaking about the unique faith and Muslim, I think all people they can know Muslim when see girls wearing the hijab. So like immediately it's like a sign. If you're wearing, so oh, I think she's a Muslim. Also the adhan, the prayer, the starting of time of prayer, like when they said Allahu Akbar, Allah Akbar. Maybe when you hear it, it's somehow a sign for oh, I think they are Muslim, Islam, something. And other things, there are many things, but the more famous, I can add also the prayer, the 5 time prayer. That's, I think, the most unique things for a Muslim.
Yeah, I'm actually interested with that and how you do your prayers 5 times a day. But like I mentioned a while ago as well, like with Mitzi, we'll be talking on that later on a deeper discussion probably. All right, and but thank you again, Warda. And last, Jack or Jericho. So Mitzi and Ramin had given a while ago, how it is for them for being Roman Catholic. So how about for born again? How is it different from Roman Catholics and also from Muslim, or being a Muslim?
Actually, Kuya JM, hindi ko alam kung common ba 'to or ako lang talaga yung ganito. Pero ano, my way is actually different than most of the Catholics, most of the born again. because I attend Catholic masses and Christian services as well. So kung saan available, doon ako nagsisimba kasi I believe in relationship with God rather than the religion. Kasi sa totoo lang, it's somehow, nakikita ko siya na it separates groups of people with the decisions when in terms of politics. So yun.
Okay, that's very interesting because most of the time when we hear the word faith, we actually correlate it kagad with God, diba? And with the guest that we have, we have different gods in a sense. We actually recognize God in different forms. So most probably for Roman Catholics, yan, we have God talaga. Then for Jack, um, they might not really exactly like the God that we because I'm also a Roman Catholic. So we were taught that there's Jesus and there's God, and basically they're different and yet they're the same. They're actually the same as well, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I think with Jack naman, with being born again, I think they see beyond the separation of Jesus and God. They just really see it one one entity, if I'm not mistaken, Jack, right?
Yes, Kuya Jem. Actually, I'm
Tapos
not
sa
speaking on behalf of born again, pero that's how, kung paano ko siya
that's how you
naiintindihan.
believe it, no problem. Ano naman yan? We respect that naman. And of course, for Warda, they have the God that they're rather they how they address their God is, if I'm not mistaken, Allah, right? Allah,
Yes.
if I pronounce it right. So, yun nga, magkakaiba man, but we actually relate it. Whenever we say faith, we actually relate it to God. And we mentioned a while ago that we express our faith in different forms, in different ways, di ba? So Mitzi mentioned a while ago about learning about the rosary. Then Warda mentioned about praying 5 times a day. So yeah, Warda, can you walk us through on how you actually do it on a daily basis? Because um, is it different on how is your prayer, rather how you do your prayer? Is it different from how Roman Catholics would do their prayer?
Actually, I'm not that familiar with how Catholic do it, but I think yes, as the basic knowledge I know, because there's a certain ways how you do it, like you stand and then you lay and then you go and your head down. So I think it's different. I haven't seen other religion doing the same.
And how are you able to manage it? Like especially when we still had our face to face, or rather when we were still in school. How do you manage, going through or doing your prayer while in school?
To be honest, it's easy to do the prayer while you're still at home, and this the advantage of online classes really nowadays. So you don't have to suffer looking for a place, excusing from the class. It's really hard, and especially when you are in a Muslim country, they understand we have a break for this time, all we are the same. But during the school classes, I had some professor. They were so understandable, and I really thanking them for them understanding. So I will just tell them, "May I go? I will pray for just 5 minutes." They will allow me and go back. The maybe the hard time that and the thing that make it a little bit need an effort, it's 5 times, so like a specific time. So when it starts in the afternoon, there is another one in the afternoon, so you cannot like skip it and pray it all in one time. It's mean like you're just disrespecting, and or you're delaying thing that you have to do it. So you will keep feeling bad that you didn't do it. So just to make it short, before in the pre-dent we had a room for foreigner. We were praying there. After when we went to the proper, I would like also to thank the janitor. They were allowing us to use the room. After that, we become a higher level. We're praying in the locker room for the master, because since the master there are a lot of Muslim, they prepare some part there to pray. So that's all.
That's really nice, no? Because I think I've heard from some schools they have actually dedicated a room talaga for their Muslim students on where they can do their prayers. So it's nice to hear that the entire UECD family is, I don't want to say adjusting, but rather really giving respect to our Muslim dental warriors as well, our Muslim family members in UECD, that they go beyond, they try to find ways on how our Muslim brothers and sisters can still go through or can still do their prayers within the facility. So thank you
That's
for that.
true, really so much. They make it easier for us.
That's really nice to hear. Because the last thing that the least rather that we would like to hear is, that the people in UECD are the ones who's actually making it complicated or hard for you guys. So that's really nice to hear. Now for Mitzi, Jack, and Ramin. So I know for us we can just simply just pray anywhere, like even when we're sitting, when during face to face rather, when we sit sa classroom natin, we can just simply pray there, right? But I think w- if to compare on how Muslims would do it, or how Warda had shared a while ago on the need really to pray. I think we can equate this to um going to church naman, because for them, if they are really, for Warda, if they are really expected to do their prayers 5 times a day, I think for Roman Catholics it is expected that at least for one week, and if I'm not mistaken, that is Sunday, that should be dedicated for church, di ba? So, how are you how are you how do you go to church now that we have pandemic naman? 3, 2, 1. So, let's try to understand naman on how you guys are able to go to church while this pandemic is happening. So, Jack, how about you?
Actually, during face-to-face, I used to go to the feast to my home church in Saddleback. And in UST, ganyan, yung mga near churches in the U-Belt lang. And actually, ito yung one thing na I am worried about, because alam mo na face-to-face kasi sobrang hectic, di ba, ganyan. Then at the end of the week, ito yung something na nilolook forward mo, ganyan. Kasi, nilolook forward nyo kasi in church, you do, ma-release mo yung stress mo, we celebrate happiness, you get to meet different kinds of people na may cancer, people na malapit na mamatay, mga bata, mga youths na may struggles na same na kung anong nararamdaman mo ngayon, ACADS, magtitake ng boards, as in different people. As in, so, ayun yung isang reason bakit I love going to church. And worried ako kasi, ay grabe, including na struggles ng pandemic, parang kasama dun yung paano ako mag-church. Parang naging argument nga siya na naging argument siya na dapat kapag sinasabi ng mga ibang religions or ibang churches na dapat kahit na may pandemic yung church ganyan pa din, ganyan. Pero ang maganda, like alam mo alam ko yung from the churches na ina-attendan ko, as in nakapag-provide sila through online, just like sa mga orgs, di ba? As in yung mga events na execute pa rin through online. And I believe na at home, magagawa mo lahat ng mga ginagawa mo sa church. Kasi ngayon, sobrang modern na, di ba? We have Zoom, we have Facebook Live, ganyan. So parang na-provide naman nila yung mga needs ng tao. And what's beyond sa nakikita ng mga tao. Kasi iniisip nila, church, okay, dasal-dasal, ganyan. Pero there's a deeper level para mas makilala mo si Lord, yung parang we do quiet time, we reflect on ourselves, we reflect on our family, loving our friends, doing actions to glorify God. Yun yung parang other ways na hindi parang nakikita ng iba. Kasi yung iba iniisip parang okay, go to church, ganyan, parang nagiging cycle na lang siya, pupunta ka sa church, magsisimba ka, and hindi nila alam yung mga ginagawa. And I guess And I guess, yan, na-execute naman ng maayos ng mga churches talaga through online.
I like that you actually have pointed out other ways on showing faith and not just in prayers. And definitely, again, it's something that we would be discussing later on. But thank you for sharing that. How about for Ramin and Mitzi? So you, how about you guys? Nakakapunta ba kayo ng church to actually pray, or just like what Jack had shared a while ago, online na rin kayo nag-church? Ramin, how about you?
Um, I go to my tita's convent because it's just walking distance from my place. So I'm fortunate enough to join her and during their prayers on Sunday or any time of the week. It's a convent, so usually they have scheduled prayer times throughout the day, multiple times a day. And as part of my visit to her, I also attend with her.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice to hear. How about you, Mitzi?
For me naman, ngayon, nakakapag-mass na kami ni mommy dito sa amin. They already opened churches to attend yung face-to-face mass, ganyan. May ganun ba? Face-to-face mass? Pasok lang, school lang. But they allowed na lang na mag-gather ang people sa church to have live mass na lang, ganun na lang. But last year, it was a total lockdown. We weren't able to go to mass. So, yun, online din. But I also felt like it was parang God speaking to me in a way. Ayoko naman maging super spiritual or anything, but it was kind of like him saying, so, ano naman, kung hindi ka makakapunta sa church, what will you do? Will you allow these restrictions to go away from me? Or na maging distant ka sa akin? Or will these restrictions allow you to deepen your faith with me? So, ayun, I feel like the time na we were on lockdown, na we were just at home, it was also extra time for us to become closer and to really deepen our faith.
Thank you very much, Mitzi, for sharing those. And again, for everyone. Now, we have been telling a while ago that, we are actually taught to pray. We are actually going to church, mga ganyan. But let me just raise this question. Why is faith essential to someone? Why is it so important for someone to actually believe in something? Jack, let's start with you.
I think faith is essential because without faith, you'll be disconnected. Actually, na-experience ko na to. Like, without faith talaga. As in, before, parang na-experience ko na to na yung parang, okay, nandiyan si God. Okay, naniniwala ako sa kanya, pero wala akong pake. Hindi ko siya nire-recognize as God. Like, hindi ko siya gino-glorify. Lagi ko sinasabi kahit sa mga friends ko, sa family na, alam mo si Lord, kapag ni-recognize mo siya na Lord, your Savior, ganyan, dun mo lang siya ma-experience. Dun mo malalaman kapag sinurrender mo na lahat, ganyan. Kasi kapag kunyari hindi mo siya ni-recognize, wala kang faith sa kanya, isipin mo, may nagawa ka maganda, okay, ang galing ko kasi, parang ganun. Tapos kapag may nagawang masama, di ka totoo, Lord, ganyan. Tapos, gusto ko lang din i-share as dentistry student before talaga kasi parang parang ako talaga sobrang emotional ako. Like, kunyari stress na ako, alam ng friends ko yan, alam ni Mitzi yan. Like, ako, stress na ako sa clinics, na-reject ng patient, parang feel ko babagsak ako, feel ko hindi ako makakaabot sa quota, expectations ng tao, grabe, ako iniiyak ko talaga yan, iniiyak ko yan, kahit sa harap ng mga kaibigan ko, sa bahay, through call sa mga friends ko, ganyan. Pero at the end of the cry, wala. I mean, umuulit lang ulit. Like, ganun lang, yung nagiging cycle. And when I knew God, sobrang different. Like, one time, example, one time FPB class, I did something wrong, pero hindi ko na maalala specifically pero galit na galit yung prof ko sa akin. galit na galit yung prof ko sa akin. Sabi niya, get out, ganyan. Di, parang, pero hindi pa naman like, pwede pa naman ako bumalik. Pero sabi niya, parang ayaw niya lang makita or something, ganyan. Then, ewan ko, feel ko, hindi lang ako naka-experience nito. And most, marami ako nakikitang clinician na umiiyak din sa cubicle. At marami na rin ako nakasabay na umiiyak sa cubicle. Grabe, tinime ko talaga. Kasi pasahan na ng day na yon. Then parang di niya nagustuhan yung work or something. Iyak ako 5 minutes talaga, naka-time. Iyak ako, pray ako, Lord, ganyan. Paglabas ko ng cubicle, grabe yung confidence ko, grabe yung naramdaman ko na hindi, matatapos ko to, and natapos ko. And naniniwala talaga ako, kapag naniniwala ka, dun lalabas yung faith. Dun lalabas yung perseverance, and magli-lead siya sa action and accomplishment. So, yun lang. That's how faith works in me.
How about you, Mitzi? How were you able to identify faith as something essential for you in your life?
So ako, I'm a very evidence-based person. I can say na I'm the type of person na gusto ko, nakikita ko lahat, alam ko yung next step, alam ko yung susunod na mangyayari. I don't like things being hidden from me. Na gusto ko lang nalalaman ko. But with faith kasi, it doesn't work like that. With faith, para kang nangangapa sa dilim. At yung kadiliman na yon, hindi mo alam kung saan papunta, hindi mo alam kung ano nangyayari. But I feel like faith allows you to feel secured even in that darkness. And in that darkness, you know that someone is there to guide you. And you know na even if you're in the dark or even if you feel like you're walking through unwanted territory, someone's there na syempre he's there to guide you, and he's not just there to guide you but he's there to be the light in the dark. So I've always been the type of person na parang to see is to believe. Kailangan makita ko muna na answered prayer ito bago ko paniwalaan na God is good. Ganon. But I think faith has been essential in a way na I didn't need to see that there was an answer. There was a prayer that was being answered in order for me to believe that God is good. So, yun.
So, I just like to to use yung sinabi ni Mitzi na parang most of us would say that before we actually believe in something, we have to see it. And madalas na nagiging comparison yan would be the wind, di ba? Or air. We don't see it, but you believe and you can actually feel that there's wind or there's air. So nice that, for most, or because we can't really speak for everyone, but for now with the guests that we have, for most of them, so far with Jack and Mitzi, they know for a fact that it's not something viable or that something not tangible. That faith is not something tangible, but yet they want to believe in it. And so far, it is taking them places, or rather, it is blessing. It's giving them blessings. How about you, Ramen? So, is there any particular time in your life that has been parang turning point in your life that you were able to determine that faith is actually essential or important for you?
I think that faith is times faith is the only thing that we can fall back to, or like faith is the only driving force to get us through the day. Like there were days that I had like a really, 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 really bad day, and all I could do about it is like say, God is great. God will help me push through today. And also not just also faith should I think should extend to oneself as well, that because I feel like a common trap that many like have is like they pray in expectation of like something magical would happen, while in fact I believe like the way God extends his help to you is like he grants you the power, the willpower, and the drive force and determination to push through with your problems. I see that like the answer for prayers to any of the problem is like the driving force, the will, Like there may be like some small hidden doors that he will open for you that you might not even notice. As you know, as they say, God works in mysterious ways. And also, lastly, like for the importance of faith, as the mathematician Pascal said, what do you have to lose in believing? If you believe and it's true, you win everything. If it's not, you lose nothing. So wager on.
Oh, that's true. That's true actually, 'di ba? Because technically you're starting with nothing naman, 'di ba? So, because sabi nga natin, faith is not something tangible. So, there's really nothing to believe in the first place. I mean, a physical one. There's nothing to believe in the first place. So, you're not actually losing anything with that. So, it's just really matter of a leap of faith nga, yung sinasabi nila. Just take the risk and let's see where it would get you. Now, let's go to Warda. So, yun nga, di ba, Warda, you pray 5 times a day. And why do you feel that you actually need to do that? You're bound to do that. Um, that it actually has now become an essential thing for you to do on a daily basis.
Well, maybe for others, like, or if you're not that religious, or actually for specifically like Muslim, when they pray, and then the hard time, and then it's not hard to do it because it's like 5 minutes only. Maybe it will take you, but the fact that you have to do it for your whole life, everyday things. When you think about it in this way, you can feel that, oh, it's like hard things. So what's the benefit? Why not like other religions? Just let's pray anytime. Although we can pray anytime without doing this prayer, but the feeling and the peace you feel it after you pray, and then uh, when you speak with God and when you do these things, like when you love someone and then you keep in doing, no matter what you do, like your parent, you know they did a lot for you. So whatever you give to them, whatever you listen and then do, how hard they ask you to do it, you still feel that you're not that much doing something to reach them or to like you're to satisfy what they give you and back. So for me, I feel that faith is essential because if you live without believing in God or believing in someone, maybe in your happiest time, we're human. Maybe we will not remember that much that, oh, that's a gift from God. But in your darkest and deep, and then when you're like pandemic, everything stopped, nothing you're doing, no school, nothing you can do. This point let you feel that why I'm leaving, why people they have something, why I don't have, why I'm suffering, why people they can buy everything, why other people, why I'm sick, why other people they are enjoying, they are beautiful, other things. If you believe and if you have the faith that everything happened for a reason, and you know that God loves you, and whatever you're passing through, it's the best for you. Those things will let you handle the hard time, will let you think in other way, be more spiritual. It's not necessary to be religious, but it's something let you survive in your life. Like for example, I will share my darkest during the school. It was for one of my subject. I failed that subject. It was my first time. You know the feeling when you think that you are so good and your family keeping telling you, oh, you're smart, you're intelligent, blah 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 blah, and then suddenly, boom, you failed in one subject. That was maybe the hardest, darkest time during the school that I have been through, because I know that I work hard, I study hard, I did all my best. I know that the prof he didn't do something bad to me. He just gave me the thing that I did. That's my grade. Nothing will change. But who will knows the effort you did? Who will hear? Who will see the nights that you didn't sleep? Only God knows this. And then if he didn't let you pass in the end, this thing let you feel there is a reason, there is something behind this is good for me. Knowing those things, I will not say that I didn't pass through a dark time or I didn't cry. I did, but at the same time, I pass it by saying that there is reason behind this. I did my best, and then at the same time, I know that God, I was praying, I was doing everything, and I know He loves me. So there is reason behind this. I think when you know those things, make you pass the hard time in your life, especially in this pandemic. Even if you get sick, even when you see other people they cannot afford even eating food, jobs, everything getting so hard those time. Uh, so faith is really essential, especially when you're in this time.
Thank you very much. So I think with what Warda has shared to us, it only kind of proves lang yung statement din ni Ramin that God actually works in mysterious way. And this is true. Like, we usually think that just because there's failure, there's like now pandemic, there's so much sacrifice that we actually need to do, or suffering rather, not sacrifice, suffering, that sometimes we actually kind of lose hope, not faith immediately, but we lose hope of things, we lose hope to ourselves as well. Just like yung example ni Warda kanina, na she knows that she actually has done everything to pass that subject, and just because she failed, you know um, she started questioning herself. But um, with faith, it actually brought her back to believing herself. And I think that's one of really the things that faith gives us. It's not the idea of someone would be helping us, but more of someone will be helping us magically. Just like what has been shared a while ago, that in a flick of a finger everything would be okay. But the idea of someone is actually pushing us to just continue with life because there is something set for you. It may not be as pleasant as you think with the experience that with the experience that you're experiencing right now, but just continue because there is a plan for you. Parang ganon, di ba? So we have already. So those are one of the things that we're actually getting from faith. One of the benefits that we're actually getting from faith. But sometimes faith, as seen by some, is restricting them or limiting them naman on doing things, right? So different religions or different beliefs would have different restrictions, diba? With this, I would like to start with Warda naman, because I know this is this is known by most, right? Everyone pa nga, if I'm not mistaken, di ba? Um, Especially when it comes to food, di ba, Warda? Right? So we have heard that there are certain restrictions when it comes to food. So I'd just like to ask, has it ever crossed your mind that your religion actually limits you on being a person or living the life that you want to have? So let's go to Warda. So how do you feel about that, Warda? Are you actually being restricted by your religion in doing such, or probably eating such?
Uh, Maybe here, it's not in the way that why I can't eat this and why uh, we're not allowed to eat those things. Because if you know the reason behind the things that why, mostly for when we have something like you're not allowed to eat this and it's restricted, blah blah blah. There is a reason behind, and mostly it's all about that it's not healthy for your body. I don't want to say that some food is not healthy, blah blah blah, because it will be disrespectful for other religion. But this is the why, and if I will speak, it's not more about I want to eat it. It's when you go out of the country, especially it's not a Muslim country. we are having hard time really to find a food that we can eat. Not only because of Muslim, different culture, different religion, things that make it mix up. So that's all.
Thank you. Because I've seen and I had experiences with with other Muslims, and I have seen on how they act. Just like with Warda, she mentioned a while ago, some challenges on finding the right food, if that would be the right term, or basically the food that that they should be eating or they are allowed to eat. And I like it what that she actually said, that it's not because their religion says so. It's a belief that that particular food or how it is being prepared is unhealthy for them. Okay. And again, it's let's respect that, right? How about for our Roman Catholics here, like Mitzi and Ramin? Any practice, any belief that you had experienced personally or have seen personally from others that restricted them or even restricted you of being yourself or enjoying life just because this particular belief is set on the tablet, parang gano'n. Let's go to Ramin naman. Ramin.
Personally, like I I haven't seen like someone being like the restrictions of their faith or belief, like restricting them as a person, because in the end of the day, like you are a free will person. Like if you don't want it to define you, most people won't define themselves as like as such in the end. Like um so if like you're adhering to the rules and the restrictions of your faith, so you already accept that as a part that would not limit you as a person.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Mitzi?
Personally, I don't think there are any practices or parang things that we do that restrict us from doing things that we want, or just any restrictions in general. But if there are, siguro yun yung um, little things that we have to give up for Lent, ganyan, for 40 days. For Lent, kasi there are things that you do have to give up, but syempre, it's your choice on what you want to um, do and what you want to give up. And it's not more of a restriction, but it's more about deepening your faith even more, actually. Parang it teaches you to become more sacrificial, teaches you to become more patient and more generous to others, ganon.
Thank you. How about you, Jack? Any...
Actually,
Ayun, sige, go.
Actually, parang same lang yung belief ko kay Mitzi kasi it's way of shaping. I don't find it as restriction eh. Actually kasi, etong mga practices na to, fun siya gawin and it's very beneficial. And I've tried it. And ako usually yung ginagawa ko, yung fasting yun. Ang ginagawa ko most of the time is yung, since I have sakitin ako and whatever, ang ginagawa ko social media break, which is I find it na sobrang laking factor kasi 'di ba gigising tayo sa umaga, cellphone agad, ganyan. And sa food naman, parang wala naman masyado. As in, never ko naman naisip talaga na nare-restrict ako kasi in terms of talents, in terms of your skills, parang hindi. Kasi in church, we have ministries, music, where you can show your talent, you can talk, you can preach, you can do everything in church as in nandun lahat. Like yung relationship mo kay Lord, hindi lang inside church, pati outside church. So, yun.
Guys, thank you very much for sharing those. So, it's tama naman no, 'di ba? Parang we shouldn't see religion as a hindrance of something that, would cut. We shouldn't see religion as a hindrance of developing ourselves. It should be something that would actually help ourselves improve more naman talaga. But have you ever experienced, guys, na I think si Jack kanina may nabanggit dito eh, that you came to a point wherein you almost or you even actually stop believing. Di ba? Parang you lost faith talaga.
Actually, ang daming times. Alam mo, sa College of Dentistry, ang dami kong na-witness sa tao na ganun yung nafe-feel, same na sa nafe-feel ko. And ang naging resolution ko sa kanya is surround yourself with people who believes in God. And ako talaga, ang daming times na kini-question ko na si Lord na totoo ko ba talaga? Like, di ba ang pangit pakinggan, pero ayun yung nafe-feel ko talaga. Totoo ko ba talaga? Ba't ganito? Ba't ganyan? Ganyan. Pero ang dami kong mga kaibigan, mga kasama sa church na nire-remind ako na ganito, hindi mo according sa scriptures na to, sa scripture, ganito yung faith mo natetest lang, ganyan. And marirealize mo, totoo talaga. Like, grabe, totoo. Na, oo nga, grabe. And look at me now, like, wala. As in, na-establish ko na yung faith ko from my experience before. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na hindi na ulit mo yun mangyayari. Pero nung na-experience ko talaga na, I mean, hindi na ako naniniwala or whatever, ganyan. Sobrang blanco ko talaga. Pero ang naisip ko lang talaga na sobrang connected ko pa rin kay Lord kahit parang feel ko na wala yung faith ko. Kasi hindi ako yung, okay, bahala na. Ayoko na talaga. Pupunta pa rin ako ng church, pinipray ko na, Lord, parang give me answers, give me ganyan. And grabe, yung instrument ni Lord talaga, yung mga taong kumakausap sa akin, yung taong nag-i-invite sa akin, yung mga people na kasama ko, and yun, sobrang beneficial niya sa akin. So, yun lang.
Thanks, Jake. How about you, Ramin? Any point in your life wherein you actually questioned fate because it was not in your favor?
There were many times that happened. Of course, like there are times that like you come and say like, why me? Like, how is this just? Or like you start special. Also, sometimes like when you start reading like news from around the world, like you sometimes start asking like questions like, where's the plan in this, like that. But I think that's this is like a part of like faith. That's why it's called faith. It's the trust and something that you can see. So, and at the end of the day, as you can see, I'm still here, like still persevering. So you just have to give it time. You just have to trust in the process, and God will show you the way, and you will persevere.
That's true. No? Most especially with the situation that we have right now, the pandemic, a lot, we can say that a lot of people have already died. And probably for some people, they would question God. That why is this pandemic happening? Why is it that we're not yet being saved by God? Right? And why is it that God was not able to save their loved ones? Right? So this I can say that this is one of those examples wherein most people would question their faith. But just like what Jack and Ramin said, it is just part of a test probably of really strengthening someone's faith, um and really seeing that, at the end of the day, there is a plan, right? How about you, Warda? Any experiences that you can share that question your faith, probably uh not necessarily during naman itong dentistry life natin or being studentistas, probably on a younger age. Was there any point in your life where you even ask your parents, why do we actually do this? As simple as that.
Uh, to be honest, I haven't go through this feeling. Maybe because I think if you really do, if you practice the faith, and if you have a child that you raise them not in a way you have to do this and let's go do this, pray, come, don't do this, don't eat those things. this time the child, when he grow up, he will keep in asking why. So it wasn't my choice. Like when you grow up in a family with a specific religion, sometimes you start questioning, what if you choose it, or to if you choose this religion by yourself, or even if you grow up in a family with a specific religion, but when they raised you, they told you the reason behind this, and they show you those things in a good way. I don't think that you will start, or you have a point where you will think questioning and feel that maybe it's restrict me, or maybe I'm in a wrong way, because deep inside you believe on it. You know why, the reason why you're doing this, and you're not doing just to live. You're doing, you love it. So like when you love someone, you will never feel that if you really truly love someone, if he did something, let's not say bad, because nothing come from God is bad. Let's say something that you feel make you in hard time, let you pass in darkest time. You know that person love you, and deep inside he will never hurt you. So you will keep believing in this person no matter. So how about God, when you know that he will never do this to you, and in your whole life you were living a race, and you see many things that was blessed and was good enough. So why in just one time or darkest time we hear the negative voice that make us feeling that, oh no, maybe that's the wrong. So do you think if you go in another religion, maybe it's not about the religion, it's about you, your faith wasn't that deep to believe that the person who love you, or God who loving you, he's making you in a bad situation. Because if in a certain religion you think about this, even if you go to other religion, you will not be that more faithful. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Well, that actually makes perfect sense naman talaga, Warda. Thank you for raising that because um, when you really believe in something nga naman, di ba? And if you were actually helped in understanding the things that you're believing, there would be no question naman. There wouldn't be certain questions that would be raised by yourself. I mean, yes, as children, we are just inquisitive as always, diba? But as we surpass that particular age, and if we were taught and things were actually explained, and we truly understood it and we accept it, just like what Warda mentioned, it's the acceptance talaga eh. So that's the reason why she said that it's all about you. It's not the religion, it's all about you accepting it. And if you really truly accept that, then I think there would be no questions. So you made sense, Warda. Don't worry. You actually made sense. How about you, Mitzi? Any experience that parang nag-give up ka na parang, may Lord, bakit ganito? Parang
Yes, so meron naman, Kuya JM. This actually happened last year. This is actually something I never really shared to anyone. Except syempre sa mga people really close to me. But other than that, this happened after Easter. And Easter is my favorite time of the year actually. Kasi parang it reminds us to talk about God's resurrection, ganyan, yung power ni God and everything. And so, I was on a high sa faith ko. Parang, okay, sige, praise God, ganyan, ganyan. But after a few weeks after Easter, my dad turned positive for COVID. And he's actually not here sa Philippines. So, nasa States siya. And malamang malayong-malayo kami ni mommy sa kanya. And that was the time I questioned God. I mean, I questioned him a lot before, but that was the most intense test of faith. And sabi ko, so ano na, sabi ko, ano na God? Parang, okay, praise kita. Sabi ko, good ka. I believe in you and I'm serving you and I'm trying to be like you to other people. But this is what happens. And I don't know what the next step is gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna wake up the next day if my dad's still alive, or I don't know if I'm gonna wake up na he's gonna be okay. Wala akong alam. So I think that was the time where I asked God a lot of questions, but God was very, very patient then in answering all of my questions. And he was like, I felt him saying, okay, it's okay. I'm working everything for your good. You don't have to worry. He's under my protection. He's under my care and everything. But it still persisted. The time that my dad got COVID, he never texted us, kami ni mommy. So the only time na nakausap namin siya was when he said he tested positive, and then he didn't text us for over a week. And then he just texted us na the first thing he texted me, naalala ko, was, anak, pahingi ng link ng mass. Because he was able to go on his phone na kasi na-hospital pa siya, ang dami pang nangyari. But I think it was in that period of silence that I was actually wanting to get answers from God and say, ano ba? Asan ka? Parang ganon. But God willingly, and with all the praise and thanksgiving talaga, my dad got better. And although we're still not together, it's still a prayer that I'm still really praying for. I think it was during that time when I had to have faith in him the most. It was when he was working the most also. So sometimes when we feel like God is silent, that's actually when he's working the most. So yun.
I like that. I like that. Sorry, medyo, medyo na teary-eye lang ako ng konti doon because I know it how it feels when it's already a loved one na ang involved. I mean, I don't have which I'm very thankful. I don't have any in my family who is positive in COVID. But I know the feeling that when it's already a loved one na that is on the line or basically that's already involved. Parang iba na eh. Parang tabla-tabla tayo dito. Most especially if it's hindi lang loved one na tita or dito. It's really within your family. Someone that you really love. So, ayun.
Can I add lang din, Kuya
Go.
JM? Parang wala rin kasi ako magawa nung time na yon. Even if I wanted to visit him or even if I just wanted to give him food, hindi ko magawa kasi ang layo ko. Ang layo namin ni Mommy, wala kaming magawa. So, the only thing that we had to do was pray. And that's when I really felt na it can really, really go a long way even if you don't understand. Parang ang tanging magagawa mo na lang is to surrender everything. Kasi wala akong magawa kahit gusto ko talaga siyang puntahan, kahit man lang silip, hindi ko magawa. So I think it was also one of the best wake-up calls from God na parang, good pa ba ako kahit hindi ko nakikita? Kahit hindi mo nakikita yung goodness ko? Parang,
Which is parang ironic, no? We were talking about an experience an experience that you question, and yet this experience of yours as well, Mitzi, was also an evidence of how you should really be believing in, you should really be having faith. Di ba? This time around, I'd like to know, guys, how would you be encouraging people who lacks faith or had already lose faith because of whatever experience that they had, or probably even right now with the pandemic that we're experiencing? How would you encourage them to just keep holding on to their faith? Let's start with Mitzi.
for me, it's very important for me to be able to talk to the certain person, whoever lacks faith. And siguro if that's someone who's watching or listening now, it would to just let you know that I've also been there. I've also lacked faith in God, and I've also doubted Him, and I've also questioned Him. And siguro by continuously sharing His goodness, by sharing testimonies, that's something na it could possibly. And wala namang certainty eh. Kapag nag-share ka ba ng isang story, eh sure na yun agad na magiging okay na yung faith ng tao. It doesn't really start or even end there. I guess it's just letting them become more open to what God has in store for them. And syempre, by prayers, I can only do so much. And syempre, it's gonna be God who will work in their lives. But just continuously being there for them and showing compassion na it's okay, I'm here, naiintindihan ko, I've been there, ang dami kong times na dinoubt and kinwestiyon si God. And eventually, I pray and I know that they'll be where they would want to be in their faith.
Thank you, Mitzi. How about you, Warda? How would you be encouraging someone who is questioning their faith or who had lost faith?
Uh, for me, I will not tell you to go to pray or do anything. Just take like a break, get enough sleep, and then wake up early morning, like 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning, and then go to any place that is open, no people, no phone. Just go alone, and then like a meditation. Start thinking, just see around you, feel the things around you, remember everything good in your life. uh, don't let the negative energy let you feel down. Just try to imagine and then remember everything that have been good in your life, people who loves you around you, how did you pass through everything hard was before, and then think about the problem that you're having or the thing that let you feel that your faith is not that strong, or the meaning of the life that you're having. That time maybe you can start to feel, where is, do I really need this to do my life that I'm living, that's, is it the good way? After doing this and sitting alone, maybe start to do like, do good to people, like treat other people, help other people, talk nice, smile, give charity for poor people, like people that they don't have what you have, even though you're not that rich or you don't have the things that, or you don't have the money or the ability to do something to others. Even a simple things like smiling in the face of other people, saying hi, making a day for other people. Keep doing this for as much as you can. With the days, you will feel better. You will feel the meaning of your life. You can choose the right thing to you. And then when you start the faith and the reason why you have it, I assure you that your meaning of life will change. Even your life in the school, other things will not really matter or affect you. Like if you didn't get this well, having hard time, you know how to get yourself back. You know there is a reason. You have faith. You have things that behind this is bigger and more important than to like being a dentist, other things. Even if you want to be a dentist, think about it like it's not just because of money, other things. If you want to help other, you want to improve the health of others, one resto maybe can save someone who cannot afford it. So this way, even when you study, it will not be just I want to be successful, I want to get. You can know why you're doing this and you will be better, I assure you that.
Thanks, Warda. What I really like what you said was the fact that we just really need to give ourselves some time. So probably we have heard a lot of times about soul searching, di ba? And we usually hear soul searching during breakups, but it's not just breakup that we can actually do soul searching. When sabi nga ni Warda, when things are starting to be unclear in your life and probably in relation to your faith, do some soul searching as well, di ba? Quiet time. Listen to the things that listen to your surroundings. Yun yung isa pa yun eh. Listen to your surroundings because I think that's where you would really be able to hear things. You would be able to hear the answers to your questions that you are raising to to God. Okay, thank you. Jack, how about you?
Sa akin naman, naniniwala ako na nagsa-start na dapat mag-seek muna. mag-seek siya kay Lord para makilala niya. And mahirap yun. Mahirap magsimula sa totoo lang. Pero na-imagine nyo ba na may mga religion na nagsasalita sa kalsada, may nagsasalita sa tapat ng pure gold, nagsasabi ng word of God, walang nakikinig, meron nasa bus, nagsasalita, nagsasabi ng word of God. Gusto ko lang clarify, hindi lahat nanghihingi ng pera. Yung pastor namin sa church namin, every Saturday, nagpupunta siya nung face-to-face pa, nagpupunta siya sa bus station from Calamba to Alabang buong araw para lang mag-share ng word of God. And akala ng mga tao, iniisip ng tao, parang ano na naman to, nakakainis, matutulog ako. Di ba ganun yung usually ginagawa? May magsasalita, may magpipreach, wala naman makikinig. And ako naniniwala ko na lahat may time talaga. Like, kaya yung mga tao na yan, paulit-ulit na nagsasalita buong araw, pare-pares nagpipreach, ganyan. Kasi, words are powerful. Pero, syempre, hindi naman lahat na penetrate. Pero once na nag-surrender ka kahit isang beses lang, sorry, wala ka nang kawala. Si Lord na yung bahala talaga maggawa ng milagro sa buhay mo. And gusto ko lang share, meron akong yung ex-girlfriend ko. She was addicted to sex. She was addicted to cigarettes, to bisyo, to drugs, yan, ganyan, before. And nung time na kami before, parang lagi niya sinasabi na, simba-simba ka pa, serve ka pa, sayang lang sa oras mo, imbis na mag-aral ka na lang, ganyan. Imbis na ganito na lang gawin mo, ganyan. Tapos parang tinatawanan niya lang pag magsisimba ako ng linggo, ganyan. Tapos minsan pinipigilan niya ako magsimba, ganyan. Hanggang sa dumating tinatry ko siyang encourage, ganyan, pero hindi nag-work. Siguro, meron lang talaga isang tao na magpaparealize sa'yo na kailangan ko maniwala kay Lord. Na and grabe, as in, nung nag-ECQ, parang nagulat na lang ako, post ng pero wala na kami na, pero post na siya ng mga about kay God, ganyan, nag-connect siya sa church, ganyan, tas nagpipreach siya sa mga tao, ganyan, kahit mga small groups lang, ganyan, and malaking bagay na kasi yun for me. Tapos, parang natuwa naman ako, pero parang tinatawanan ko na parang, I doubt na Pero na-realize ko, as time goes by, parang okay nga siya, ganyan, hindi siya toxic, maayos siyang kaibigan, ganyan. And may guilt ako na feel kasi na-realize ko na kapag yung tao pala nag-surrender na kay Lord, tas dinout mo, hindi na yung tao yung dinadoubt mo, si Lord na yung dinadoubt mo. And sobrang pinag-pray ko talaga yun na, Lord, sorry, ganyan, kasi I doubted you, dinout ko yung mga power na kaya mong, yung power, miracles na kaya mo ibigay, yung blessings na kaya mo, na mag-change ng tao, which is, kabaliktaran sa paniniwala ko na si Lord kaya baguhin, ganyan or whatever. And now, ngayon, hindi pa naman siya fully as in, fully changed talaga na tao. Pero, nakikita mo yun na nag-ano siya. And nakakatuwa, as in, makikita mo, hindi lang siya, isipin mo yung mga taong preso, yung mga from prison, yung mga dating magnanakaw, mamamatay tao, tapos biglang mag-share sila ng mga testimony kahit sa loob ng di ba nakakatuwa, ang sarap sa feeling. Tapos gusto ko rin i-share, meron ako napanood sa YouTube, si Kuya Jobert, yung komedyante, grabe yung grace sa kanya ni Lord talaga. As in, imagine mo, yung nangyari sa buhay niya, sumikat siya sa YouTube, nakatira siya sa jeep, may anak siya, sa jeep siya tumira 2 taon, marami siyang pera kasi kinukuha siya, kasi nakakatawa nga siya kinukuha siyang artista, ganyan, kinuha siya, sumikat na siya, kinunto niya na 7 days a week, nakikita yung mukha niya sa TV, tas ganun kadami yung pera niya, pero never siya nagkaroon ng magandang bahay, never siya nagkaroon ng magandang sasakyan, lagi siya nakikisabay lang sa mga barkada niya, nagbababae, nagwawaldas, droga, ganyan, umabot sa time na gusto niya na magpakamatay, pero may one time yung last na gusto niya magpakamatay, lahat ng friends niya nandun, pinuntahan siya, tinulungan siya, dinala siya sa ibang bansa, tapos nag-rehab siya, tapos after rehab niya, may isang kumausap sa kanya, sabi dun sa kanya na parang, tinext siya, sabi, Jobert, kung gusto lang kita ipag-pray. Tapos nag-reply daw si Kuya Jobert, hindi niya alam, hindi naman daw siya interesado or whatever, pero nag-reply daw siya, out of 1,000 na tinext ng lalaki, or 100, ganyan. Si Kuya Jobert lang yung nag-respond. Tapos tumawag siya na sabi niya, wait lang iko-contain ko lang yung sarili ko. Tapos umiyak daw siya ng umiyak. Tapos pagkaiyak niya yun, sige, ready na ako. Tapos nag-pray daw siya kay Lord na, Lord, kapag gusto mo ko pa uwiin sa Pilipinas, uuwi ako. Tapos umuwi siya sa Pilipinas, tapos na-meet niya yung person na yun, which is yung person na yun, binago yung buhay niya, nakilala niya si Lord. Tapos mas maraming opportunities yung dumating sa buhay niya. Ngayon, meron na siyang magandang bahay, meron siyang magandang kotse. Through sharing lang, yung work niya parang naging speaker siya, ganyan, advocate ng faith. And imagine, ikaw, isipin mo, addict ka, makikita mo yung dating addict, okay na yung buhay, ang sarap ng buhay, ang daming pera, ganyan, na-enjoy yung family, di ba? Parang sobrang nakaka-encourage yun as, kahit sa sarili ko, ako pinapanood ko na, grabe ako na-move talaga. So, yun.
Thank you, Jack. And it's nice to hear na there, yun nga, parang sasabi na God works in mysterious ways, that it's so mysterious that sometimes strangers pa yung nakakapagpabago ng mga taong kakilala natin. Just like what Jack shared, di ba? Parang yan, ex-girlfriend niya na nga yan. Although it's an ex, you still have that relationship. You had that relationship. You had that kind of relationship with that person. And I'm pretty much sure naman, sabi nga ni Jack, inaaya nga rin naman niyang magsimba, di ba? Pero there was resistance, but one day, what we don't know what happened. Suddenly, this person changed. Not really a total 360 change. Hindi naman nagmadre siya kagad. Pero there was a change, a significant change when it comes to her faith. And it's nice. And yung sa story na shinare ni Jack about a stranger who reached out to Jobert, right? So, I mean, sometimes if it's a stranger, yun yung for me yun yung mas nakakakilabot. Kilabot in a sense because for me that is really God's way of reaching out to you, because of all the million people that could have reached you, most especially your loved ones na, diba? Why would suddenly someone be reaching out to you? Diba? So yun. Thanks for sharing that, Jack. Ramin, how about you? What or how do you usually encourage someone who loses faith?
I would suggest to them to take time off and like focus and search on his gifts, like your loved ones, your pets, like go into nature. I know it's a little bit harder during the pandemic, but if you're in the province, you can. Or if you're in Manila, like just as simple as a plant, like behold the beauty of nature itself. Or like I used to remember, like I used to hike the mountains, and like once I got on top, like you would see, like wow, like everything below you is like so little, and like you start to realize, like you start to come down there, so yeah, you feel like you are so little compared to like the greatness, the vastness of the world. So like you could appreciate like the design that goes into it.
Okay. Si Ramin kasi is a hiker so that's the reason why he's able to share, or rather with his example yan, may mountain siya. Pero which is true, di ba? Sometimes yun nga, parang we just really need to have a me time, kumbaga. Sorry, a me time, or quality time for ourselves to really just reconnect with the world, reconnect with our environment, reconnect with ourselves, with our faith, diba nga? So, and with this, guys, probably this will be my last question for you guys. Just to sum it up, because at this point we have already cite examples, experiences on how you have experienced faith, and even um, points in your life that you have questioned faith. We have already talked about how we would be able to help others bring back their faith in times of those times that they are questioning it. So to sum it up, guys, try to complete this sentence. Faith is. So just one word, faith is blank for you. Let's start with Warda.
Um, Faith is, it could be the key.
Faith
So
is
it
the
will
key.
be, yeah, the key for everything.
Right? How about you, Ramin? Faith is. Complete the sentence. One word.
Faith is the way.
The way. Okay, two words. Ay, faith. Oh, two words yan. Sige. Pagbibigyan kita. Faith is the way. Ay, Jack.
Faith is life-changing.
Oh, two words din. Tayo mga instruction kayo. Mitzi, how about you?
Faith is unconditional.
Ah, I like that. I like that. Faith is unconditional. And with that, guys, that's we wrap up our Q&A. But before we close our episode for tonight, we would like to give the certificates to our guests for participating. And we have Regina Papa to help us with the certificates of appreciation or participation to be given to our guests. Regina?
Good afternoon. So, the University of the East College of Dentistry, Dentistry Student Council presents this certificate of appreciation to John Mark Salting for hosting the DSC podcast series Faith, hosted by the University of the East Dentistry Student Council, presented this 15th day of May via Zoom application, signed by Patrick Lawrence de la Torre, DSC Business Manager and the DSC Podcast Series Project Head, Patricia Dico, the UEDSC President, and Marie Antoinette Veluz, the UEDSC Advisor. Also, the University of the East College of Dentistry Student Council, DSC, presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Ramin Bahmaninejad, Warda Yousuf, Jerico Yanson, and Mitzi Katungal for participating in the DSC podcast series Faith, hosted by the University of the East Dentistry Student Council, presented this 15th day of May via Zoom application, signed by Patrick de la Torre, UEDSC Business Manager and the podcast series project head, Patricia Dico, the DSC President, and Marie Antoinette Veluz, the UEDSC Advisor.
Thank you very much, Regina. So again, thank you very much to our guests for joining us on today's podcast episode. So, guys, before we let you go, or before we end um, before we end our episode, any last words, or rather, any shout out to people that you would like to to reach out to? Oh, the floor is open. Go. This is your time. Who would like to go first? Huwag na kayo mahiya. Libre to, guys. Libreng shoutout to. Bilis. Last episode na
I
natin
will
to.
go first.
Go, Warda.
I want to say that for everyone who's listening or she's listening, it's not late. It's never, and it's not too late for you to start building your faith now, and even later, as long you're still alive. This is the time, and I wish for everyone to stay safe, and anything bad in your life will not touch you or your family or the loved one that you're having.
Thank you very much, Warda. Anyone else would like to go next?
Ako na lang. I would like to end this through Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6. Sabi doon, and without faith it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and he is a rewarder for those who seek him. And um my ultimate prayer, as in pinagpipray ko to lagi, na dadating yung time na lahat ng tao naniniwala na kay Lord. And yan, shoutout sa lahat ng mga kaibigan ko dyan. Game night, tsaka yung mga tropa ko dyan sa, dito na ako sa, DSC.
What a privilege, no? Masama sa podcast, Jack, no?
Isis defended na kami.
Okay. Ditzy, do you wanna go next?
Sige, dahil sinabi na rin ni Jack na thesis defended na kami, yung mga groupmates namin, shout out ko na lang din. But anyway, ayun, game night. Pochi, kilala nyo na kayo kung sino kayo. And syempre, to everyone who is still watching, alam ko medyo napahaba yung podcast na to, but I really hope and pray na kahit papano, we were able to share a glimpse of God's love to everyone who's still listening. And thank you then to DSC and to everyone who's part of this. Kuya JM, thanks din.
Ramin, how about you?
I would also like to thank everybody who stuck till to this time, and shout out to all my good friends out there. You know who you are. Exactly. And as last advice, I would say, be patient, for God is patient with you. Your door might not open today, but it will eventually open for you. And if the door closes for you, then other doors will open as well.
Tama yun, guys. So, it's not always no. Or most of the time, it's not really no. It's not yet. Diba? Yun ang tandaan natin. So again, Ramin, Warda, Jeric, and Mitzi, thank you very much for joining us on today's episode. It was really a pleasure having you guys. Thank you very much for sharing your insights and experiences. And for me naman, guys, what I can share with this episode that we have, with the discussion that we have, I would like to share a quote that I actually really believe in. Unfortunately, I can't remember who it is from, but credits to that person. I'm not claiming that this is mine. It says that without faith, nothing is possible, but with it, nothing is impossible.
Amen.
Amen. Di ba? So that's it, guys, for our episode for today. And we thank you all for being with us here in the EC podcast from our very first episode down to our last one today. So we hope that with the episodes that we have featured from the past and even up until today, it had opened your eyes and ears through the different perspectives and experiences our guests had shared. So would we be having a DSC podcast by next semester? We'll never know. But for now, this is JM, your host. Thanking you again, guys, for joining the podcast series and wishing you all peace, happiness, and love. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, guys.